Hi, Norm.
What is it?
Hi, Mom.
Say hi, Mom. You're...
Hi, Mom. Where's Tim?
Woo.
It says low light.
I know, I'm so disappointed. All my shower pictures, that's what really bugs me.
Well, those ones that we saw, though.
Oh, my word, are gonna be down.
Well, those are terrible. But there was the camera I've ever owned. Next camera for it.
Why did she do that to me?
Let me go.
Is this live? No. It's not shooting, the red light's not on.
Brand new film, too.
Yeah. How about soda? No Coke?
I should have had the soda again. Hi, Laurie.
Oh, I don't like that thing.
Hey, there's no Coke.
There's no Coke, and this is
Come on, Frank.
Valentine's Day, 86. Norm's leaving in a half an hour for 40 below.
Well, we get a picture of that beautiful chandelier.
Jump on the floor again. We're on
Must
the
be
40.
windy out, the chandelier's moving again. Turn that camera off.
You're not even going to answer the phone because
They know it's me.
All right, this can't be the same. You're not phoning the same place every time, right?
Norm, you made the biggest investment today on your wife's watch, and you only got $5 off.
I know. I couldn't figure it out.
When you get home, phone Crow and ask him what time it is.
I should.
They don't go to
Sounds-
Saskatoon.
Oh, Charlie, you said send one around to Resolution Towers at Discovery Bay, out to the airport. How long will it be? You know?
2 hours.
Okay. Would you have him ring 364 when he gets there? 2. Are you ring 364, will he? Okay. Bye.
I'll be here tomorrow night.
I'll bet you you don't hear from those guys because they don't know how to get in here.
No,
I don't know.
I think you'd be better off if you wouldn't.
They know Resolution Tower.
Well, they do.
Sure they do, every taxi does. There's the bride and the
Oh, my
groom,
blushing bride.
Mr. and Mrs. Peters.
Calhoun is going to cost big money when I drive drunk out to the airport.
What do I do if he says you can't fix it?
What's wrong with this? Just keep
I might shop.
Frank, I'll bet you can buy a pair of them for $3. He said he'd do in the wintertime.
So what, you want all these straps?
Being shirt, oh, he disappeared.
Never seen anybody talk like that before.
Like what?
Well, you're so messy.
Well, I can't believe that all that was in there before.
Don't forget your soup.
Isn't it in there yet?
No.
There's Rex and his Waimea Bay.
Well, I guess this is time to depart.
Boy, I feel as good this
Sure gonna be lonesome around here tomorrow.
Mind if I have a beer before my flight?
You're the guy's going to have to walk up and down the line. Yeah?
Hi, Mom.
Is that right?
Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom.
We're
Hi,
just
Mom.
heading out to the airport.
Getting ready to leave on the big silver
Blair or Rex and
Aaron?
Aaron's plane didn't get out of Vancouver today. Hello. Yeah, well, it's 5 hours late. They were supposed to get out of here at 2:30 and
I'm not supposed to cut out in the middle of conversation.
how come?
At 11 o'clock at night.
Whales. The whales are here now, see, in Maui and
What, see them from Diamond Head?
yeah, Diamond Head. There's a lookout there.
Up on top.
You can see the ocean.
You see them through the water, or you can see them jumping?
Huh? Yeah, the whales. The whales are here now, and this month is a good month to see them. Go back and forth to Maui, you know.
That would be
You're going to
worthwhile.
Maui? Oh, that's a good place to see whales. No,
Good.
this month.
Thank you.
You take the moon?
Oh, I should get a picture of the moon, shouldn't I?
Yeah. Want to get the sun on this.
Discovery Bay, built in 1978. LaRonde of Alamo. Alamo Park. Peapod tree. Prince Q Hill, or the Nelson State.
Well, on the left here. So
No, no, that's good. The only time they canoe was after school, 4:30.
You wouldn't know where the sailboat is that's gonna race in the... Oh, it's down, Hawaii. Hawaii, they told us before here.
Yes.
Well, maybe that's the one down there.
There's one more down here, Taylor. Sure? How far?
Just past McKesson and
Over the drawbridge? Yeah. Drop us.
McKesson has a big sign over there.
Fred? Fred, come see what this lady's doing. She's getting the things for Lay's.
One by one.
Can I take your picture?
All right.
What are those called?
Willy Willy.
Willy Willies.
Yeah. Willy Willy because it's winding over here.
What, and now you gotta punch a hole in them?
I gotta punch a hole.
How do you do
Use
that?
the drill.
And then you thread them.
And then you thread them. And after you thread them, then you crochet them.
Huh.
To make it into a round one like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of work. And I'm left-handed and going to be a slow process because everybody else does it with right hand.
Oh, well, you'll be able to do it just as well.
Harder to teach a left-handed. So I took my daughter first day of class. She's also left-handed.
So
And
you're just
she's having fun.
you're just learning.
Yes, I'm just learning.
You should make her be right-handed.
Oh,
too late now.
She's too old to change. She's 40 years old. It's
Oh.
too late to change.
You can't teach an old dog new tricks, can you?
No.
And Fred, the tree is called Willy Willy too.
Yeah, really tree.
Where would we see a monkey pod tree?
Monkey pod trees all around.
Which one?
That's it. Well, you know, it's that one of the little rooms, right off one of the rooms.
You know where the triple hospital is? Point to him, the pink one up the hill.
Yes.
Right below that,
Below that, there's a park here.
monkey pod, there's a park over there.
And there are a lot of them.
Big monkey pod. Just hanging down like that.
Where are you from?
Bam.
I didn't go up there. I went to China.
Yeah. Well, we're north of, we're in the same place as Regina.
Did you drive through the mountains?
Yes,
It's very pretty, isn't it?
very pretty.
Nice
That
drive.
was 1967.
It's a long time ago.
Well, it's still not too busy. The highways are easy to travel.
Yeah, we have friends in Montreal. We have friends in Stratford, Ontario.
Were you there in the summertime or
July.
July?
For the boat harbor.
Playground for children, stairs and slides. Right on the ocean on Sand Island.
Well, I really don't know anything about it, but what I can do is recreation. I know they're not going to be there along here. They're going to but you can go in the office, run, go get it, go in the office, and then there's the one on the right-hand side.
Mom, see the coconuts?
The officer of the day, the OD, a curly-haired blonde fella, told me to go across this bridge, and on the right there would be an army hut to ask them if they know where the boat is. So that's what I'm gonna do. Well, it could be over there. There, I think
To the
I
right?
see it.
To the right?
To the left. Just get down here.
The Yellow Tower was the tallest building in Honolulu in 1926. It's still the official maritime signal point and the state's harbor headquarters. And we were hoping to see the America Cup entry. Oceana, with the Aloha Tower in the background. Buildings in downtown Honolulu.
It's 10 o'clock in the morning, 21st of February, 1986. We're on the Alamoana Boulevard, going to the Alamoana Shopping Center. The bathroom. now going down Kalakaua
I see the Bank of Hawaii in the
to
background.
the Bank of Hawaii to get refinanced so we can pay for our U-Drive. A month of the U-Drive is going to cost us $635.
I thought it was $500 for the month.
That's right, but it's another $135 for insurance.
Oh,
For the House of Hong is where the
parking.
parking for it.
Halikoa Hotel on Kalia Road, and then the Hilton Hawaiian Village. Canterbury. Discovery Bay Towers.
We're on the 40th floor, 4014.
Top floor from the 2 penthouse levels. Well, you can see the balconies on some. I guess the 41st does have lanais. 2 above the glassed in.
I love it. I don't know what else I want to do right this moment. I'm enjoying it. I'm working extremely hard. I'd like to, I want to continue. You do some pretty slow swimming, right?
Why don't you sit down like you're relaxed?
But that really gave me
Well, you can just.
I enjoyed it, and then I stopped doing it. Of course, then I didn't do anything in Chicago, but I like doing things. There are 2 different frameworks that you have to work within, and it's I enjoy both. So how often do you clean your home?
Okay, let's go.
Where are we going? Sunset Beach?
Yeah.
Helicopter pad, bottom right.
Polished down. And that's fossilized walrus. Costs us a couple thousand new sold.
And see nature that you do not see on film.
Yeah, this is one, you've only got a 2-dimensional picture.
But just so you say, yeah, what?
Or whatever. You call me Titanic. Anyway, I'm going to go up and dig my fingers out. When I look into the grapes, the onions, the garlic, the tea with your friend. You leave the tea bag out of yours and just drink the hot water.
Driving his Toyota Camry, Mount Terrace in the background. On a very windy day. We're in Hawaii time. I suppose it's too windy for kites?
Saturday, the 22nd day of February, 1986. We're at
Sandy Beach.
Sandy Beach, east side of Oahu.
That's where the kids came body surfing.
Yep.
I remember the other day how pretty that was. Where's the sun come out? Yum Yum Free at Kailua and then on to home. Oh, a very windy day. Just about got you. between Waimea Bay and Sunset Beach. In the rain.
And they want 1% above prime.
Just starting up the Poly Highway, the punch bowl to the right. Can you see the wall?
The who?
The wall around the punch bowl?
Yeah, it's right there.
We're on the lower part of the Tantalus Drive. And Round Top.
Good, there's a good shot of the airstrip.
Straight ahead. Say it again.
I wouldn't mind living up here on the Tantalus, overlooking some nice places here.
I wouldn't mind that either. I don't see any for sale signs, so.
That doctor that treated Mother lived up around here. I think his number was 2574 or something like that. 2651.
And you've just passed where that beefsteak hedge was.
What's that say there? 2549.
He was on the right-hand side of the road,
Yeah,
wasn't
he
he?
was over there. Well, I'll bet you we're damn close anyway.
We're on the Nuana Poly Highway. And it's what, Sunday the 23rd? Day to
That's
turn
right.
the car in.
23rd of February, 1986. We're going to turn the car in about 2 hours.
It's there.
Yeah.
We should have gone to church. There are so many Episcopal churches. Sure is lush. I guess it's because of that rainstorm yesterday. I guess those are the Poly Cliffs that Kamehameha the Great pushed the opponents over, you think?
Guess so. Get quite a ride.
tour buses. You can smell the plumeria lace.
Pardon?
You can smell the lace, the plumeria. That was the JLA plan. That's Kaneohe, or town we were through yesterday. And then Kealua to the right, maybe. Big Bay.
No, I don't think so. Well, it could be.
The other Polly, the Leaky Highway, is just over there to the west a couple of miles.
With clubs and spears pushing the defenders of this island to this point here. And then they would pause for a little while because King Kamehameha was going to let these people they were battling join his forces because he was about to form the Kingdom of Hawaii. Some of the defenders of this island would try climbing down the cliff, would slip and fall and they would die. Others, hundreds of them were literally pushed over, hurled over this cliff to bring to end that battle. And that would cause Oahu to become part of the Kingdom of Hawaii. And again, that was in 1795. You can see to the right there, see the old road that hooks the mountain?
Oh my heavens.
When I was only 6 years old, this is the way my dad used to bring us as we went to my grandma's house in Waimanalo. This point was very windy, so we'd hurry and roll the windows up, otherwise the car would blow side to side when you came around this corner. Part of the road started falling off. So around 1956 to 1959, that highway we took to get here, and one tunnel that's underneath of us, you see that other tunnel up there to the right? Those two tunnels were dug to make the trip easier. Then we didn't have to worry when Dad drove us over the Pali, because you had a little bit more secured ground underneath of you.
Can you see the tunnel? Oh yeah, it's because you're not tall enough.
We'll go through them as we go down here. What we're going to do is go out that way towards, you see Chinaman's Head Island? Way out at the point of the island with the point. It's named Chinaman's Head Island because that's the kind of had the Chinese war as they worked the sugar fields a long time ago. And out that way is where I live too. If you look to the left there, you see another road. That's the other of these are only the only two highways that go across Koholau. That's Route 63, and there's a long Wilson tunnel inside of the mountain, just under a mile long, whereas these are two short tunnels. Do some juice for lunch, and maybe we'll find some place out there along the eastern side.
You don't have to adjust that.
Now it's automatic. No pun intended.
To the Wilson Tunnel. This was the old road. Nuana Poly back drive. Back road. Oh, there's...
Look at
What?
the hell are they?
What?
Oh, there's
Guinea hens.
guinea hen or some damn thing.
Or some of that beefsteak hedge. The tour buses are stopping for those things. And that bamboo. There you are with Lori's cold. Oh, it's like a rainforest. The Ward Warehouse. Monterey's courses, the Yum Yum Tree. The Ward Center. They're quite different in architecture, aren't they? The IBM building. February the 25th. When we arrived 2 months ago, the sun was rising at the base of Diamond Head. Pink Palace. Kapiolani Park. Oh, that's that.
The members of the cast of the Eastman Kodak Company, as we present the show, are Monarch the King, King Lanakila. And he poses for you in the garments of the monarchy of old Hawaii before the turn of the century, those beautiful capes and helmets of the kings and chiefs of Hawaii. I want you to note very carefully the colors that he wears, which are symbolic of those colors of the old days in Hawaii, the chief's colors. I would also point out to you that the capes were covered with feathers, red feathers or yellow feathers for the most part. This is a replica of those capes and caps. Now he poses for you very briefly at this time, so if you want to get a little closer into the action and get some nice close-up pictures with the king and the members of the cast, I will invite you on the stage during our intermission. The Royal Hawaiian Girls Glee Club are on stage and they're ready to entertain you. And here's a gal that's going to entertain you along with the rest of the cast. She's a member of the group, of course, a very, very popular featured dancer with the show. And she's been dancing in the hula line for many years as well. She's a talented narrator. You're going to be my co-host and mistress of ceremonies this morning. Let's give her a nice warm reception. This is Kekela Okalani right here.
Which in our soft-spoken Hawaiian language says, good morning to all of you. We begin our show with the ancient chants and dances, and we call on our tutuvahine to do the chanting for us. Tutuvahine in Hawaiian means grandmother, and we are very fortunate this morning to have 3 beautiful grandmothers do the chanting for us. I advise you to get pictures of them now, for when the dancers come out, you'll not be able to capture them on film. The dancers use the ancient hula pahu costume. They also use the orange ilimales entwined with green maile leaves. And the first number they do for you will be Kapukulani Me Hiiaka. This chant and dance is dedicated to Laka, known as the goddess of the hula. This chant and dance inspires both the chanters and the dancers to do their very best. Kapukulani Me Hiiaka. dancers now do Kazika, a chant and dance done in honor of our late King, King David Kalakaua. It tells of his tours through the United States and Europe. You will note the main thoroughfare running through Waikiki is named after this great king, and it is called Kalakaua Avenue. Our dancers now do Lili Ue, a song written and composed for our late Queen Lili Kalani. It describes her beautiful body. Queen Lili Kalani was Hawaii's last reigning monarch. pick, seed, bone, strip, then tied into a square knot on a cord, lay deep upon these, sprinkle with cool water, then refrigerate it so that it will keep for several performances. Our dancers also use the yellow bulacan top with the red imitation carnation blaze because of the scarcity of flowers this time of year. And these implements were used before the guitar or ukulele was introduced to the Hawaiians. For their first number, the girls use the double split bamboo or the pu'ili, and they do for you Nani Vale Na Hala. For the next ancient implement numbers, they use the feathered gourd or the uli uli, and they do for you ula no veil.
The islands called Hawaii. Give the girls a nice round of applause. Are you ready? Let's give them a little encouragement. There.
And we have 4 beautiful Hawaiian women model their mu'umus for you. If you look down to their feet, you will note they wear no shoes, but this is quite appropriate, for this is our casual or informal Hawaiian wear. Our ladies wear fresh flowery lace on their hair, around their necks, and on their arms. They also use the Hawaiian jewelry, which is called the kukui nut lei and the kukui nut earrings. I'd like to introduce our dancers to you. Starting from the left, we have Mokihana, whose name represents the fragrant Mokihana berry from the island of Kauai. In center, we have Auntie Kapi'olani, who comes from the old school of hula and does a beautiful old-fashioned Hawaiian hula. Next in line, we have Auntie Maddie, whom we call our little menehune, which means a mischievous little elf. Over at the end here, we have Minna. Her Hawaiian name is Lei Momi and means my lei of pearls. Ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax, and enjoy our ladies.
These are those famous gowns, the casual ones from Hawaii, called the wu'u. And what a colorful batch we've got on stage this morning. The girls are doing a fun hula as they model them. And as you can clearly see, some of these messages in a fun hula are a little saucy. Watch them. Keep in mind, there's always a story being told in the Hawaiian hula. That's some story she's telling. Around the Hawaiian Islands right now. It's slow motion all the way around. particularly to provide you with the services here at the show. Island Camera Gift Shops operates the film stores. There's a soda fountain open for refreshment, both drink is a separate concessionaire. And I might also point out to you that there is a brand new concessionaire joining us this week, and they're offering for sale some very beautiful t-shirts, both for the keikis, the youngsters, and for the adults. And they have
the formal Hawaiian gown, which is called the hoku. When they use these gowns, they must wear their shoes. In our island, we have a beautiful Hawaiian customs where our grandparents give us all English and Hawaiian names. They're Hawaiian. Wet mud patches take 12 to 18 months to mature. Then it is picked, cleaned, steamed, cleaned some more, then pounded into porridge. And this is the way porridge was prepared in the old days.
They're all poached. They'll pound.
little boiled taro in the girls' hands. We have one of your hula dancers, Ku'uipo, carrying a bowl full of water and the implement that David uses. And we'll set this pose up now for the center section group. And then lastly, pounding poi, the old-fashioned Hawaiian way. One of the most popular comic hulas that's ever been written. It was written in the late 30s, introduced in this show by the great late Hilo Hattie, telling about the ride that Hawkeye Mare made on his horse on his friendly island of Molokai. Let's take a ride with us. You see, he wore a lei and he wore a smile. He drank a gallon of oat to make his life worthwhile. It did. Oat refers, you see, to okolihau, tea root liquor. About 150 proof of it. He got a whole gallon of oat down, got aboard the horse. It didn't excite him enough, so he stuck a burr under the horse's tail. Well, the burr made her buck, and it made her fly. All over the island of Molokai. Perhaps in your lifetime hula lesson, okay? It won't hurt a bit, and you're going to be very, very sorry if you don't join in, because we usually have large classes. And may I put it one succinct way for you, you cannot learn the hula any more than you have so far by sitting on your okole, okay? But you can come down here and try this dance and learn that even though it's a difficult thing in the entirety of hula, one of the numbers can be learned very, very simply, and these girls are very talented to instruct you. I have a diploma that David is handing me that will be yours if you can earn it, and anybody that can get a diploma from me in this class will be qualified as a hula teacher any place in the world. Come down and form a series of lines. There's Charlene, has the front line for the kids.
Way. Now when I say swing it, you know what I want you to swing, right? Okay, you find the easy move, bend your knees, hands on your hips, now swing to the right. Yes, swing to the left, again to the right, then again to the left. Good. Turning on to our basic bounce. This is 2 complete steps to the right, 2 to the left, reverse and repeat. Now when we dance, our hands, hips, and feet all move in the same direction at the same time. Front. Oh, good. Put it all together and make a nice smooth circle.
Ami, Ami. A great big O will do it. Don't be bashful out there. Nothing's going to break.
Okay, let's try it on the other side. Bend your knees, straight out to the left, back, right, and front again. And another smooth circle. Yes, you're all getting this just fine. Hands out to the right side. Let's get a nice smile, everyone. Way to go, back. Not left. Not right. Open up the hands. Right left. 4 steps to right. 1, 2, keep going. 3 and 4. Back left. And right. Left again. Open up the hands. Looking good, class. Ami.
featured dancers and the comic dancers of our show. And the story graphically described by our Asian dancers, now joined by the world-famous hula dancers of the Kodak Hula Show. Again, you see these beautiful Kili skirts of Hawaii, the modern dance dress. The uli-uli in the feather floor. The orange wreaths and lace, symbolic of this island's flower, the orange lima. It's a must. You have to go to see this beautiful spot on Kauai if you get up that way. Just drive around Princeville to Hanalei Bay and see why they write so many beautiful songs about it. Indeed, beautiful Hanalei on Kauai. Our Kula Show, and we hope you'll send your friends to us and come whenever you have a chance. To end our program this morning, we'd like to sing a traditional song of the islands, one written by the last reigning monarch here, Queen Liliuokalani's Aloha Hawaii. Sing it with us.
A banyan tree. Indian elephants. One is 53 years old and the other one's 7 years old.
That's right, yeah. And then if you want to go to complete that zoo, you go this way.
Ah.
You go right through that long building there, out that way. Stay on your right, all back.
Look at over.
Sometimes you see the turtle on the back of the car.
All right.
Yeah. Come on,
Look like secretary birds. Bird of Paradise. Water fountain. Come on, laughing jackass.
Are they funny?
That's what they call him, a laughing jackass.
Hi, guys. Oh, funny looking bird. Big head. You say that little bird.
Okay.
So there's the bitches. We'll start counting them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You'll never get all those.
I can't count them. Sure I can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's the chickens.
Well, I
There
can count
too.
the chickens.
Why don't you go out quietly, Garrett, and see how close you can get?
Oh, well, we can't see.
Garrett and Roger. So you lost your hat, Garrett.
If you want to see a picture, here it is. Hey, you get a real close-up, see? Look at that.
See, they don't have to be too tame for you, do they?
Oh, well, I can catch my little pigeon. That's no trouble. All right,
That's a little guy, isn't it?
I'm going to let it go now. Here you go.
Isn't that a little guy? Canterbury Place. Port de Russie, where there are plans for a convention center. Diamond Head in the background. Hilton Hawaiian Village new tower. New tower since we were here last time. The Rainbow Tower. Helipad. Interesting sights. The moon, February the 26th. Over Waikiki. Sunrise on February the 28th, 1986. And when we arrived 2 months ago, it was setting towards the east of the film, or to the right of the film. See the canal, Aloe Vera Canal on the bottom of the picture. Medical Center. .47, over 500 passengers.
28th of February.
Is that United?
Yep. Some stripes.
Suppose that's
Total air.
727, isn't it? Boy, it looks small, doesn't it? Downtown Honolulu.
Starring Richard Chamberlain. Following the preview, the flight attendants will be coming through the aisles offering headsets for rent at a charge of $3 per headset. We'd appreciate exact change if possible.
Diamond 10.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I be touched for just a moment, please? On behalf of the entire crew, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you all aboard to of the service trip back to the West Coast and possibly continuing on from there. But we get to the West Coast, we're getting off, so we'll wish you a fair trip on to the East Coast after that. At the present time, we're on at 22,000 feet, climbing on up to 34,000 initially. And that may end up being our final cruising altitude, depending on how rapidly we catch up with the United flight ahead of us at 36. Off the right-hand side of the aircraft, just passing Molokai and Just a little bit further, the dark and peak sticking up into the clouds is Haleakala on the island of Maui. And way off in the distance, you're looking at the big island, Haleakala. That's over to Mauna Loa and Mauna Kea on the big island. If you have an attendance that told you we're estimating 4 hours and 30 minutes. I never took my lens camera. And based on our time of takeoff.
That does exactly the same thing, only I get yellow instead of green grass doing this.
I was worried about falling off.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, there are a lot of things, you know. Ma'am, you started to say something.
We saw a lady, where was it, that was taking some really important, at the wedding, at our son's wedding over in Hawaii, and she forgot to take her lens cap off. She was really upset.
No, she was a professional.
Yeah, well.
Surgery.
Surgery. You're going to be on television. It's surgery, crap.
You don't see many people around here that work.
Oh, I've had I've had the washer out already this morning and put back in. Yeah, because we had, well, not really a problem, but sometimes you get where your washer drains into. Yeah. Sometimes you get a backing up of odor out of your gray tank, which, just under certain conditions. So Joan's been bugging me about that for a couple of days. So I thought, well, I think I can solve that problem, but I got to take the washer out. So I whipped the washer out and I solved the problem. Now there will never be an odor coming back up because you know where the hose drops into the drain? Well, I've sealed that all off now, so that's perfectly a perfect water seal and air seal. So nothing can come back up.
Okay, did you get your money back from the guy next door? That's what I need to find out.
Well, yes and no. It was, how shall I say it, a compromise, to make a long story short. I went up to the office on Monday, and Sid had said no. She said, no money back. And I said, well, it's not going to fly. You're going to have a problem with me. So she said, well, I'll give you Sid's number, and you can call him in L.A. So I says, okay. So I went over to Mary and Martin's, who were in the park there, and they have the same coach as us, but he's got a phone in his, and I didn't want to talk on the people. So
They're over on the other wall there?
Yeah,
over in the...
yeah, that's where we were, right next door to him. That empty lot is ours. And so I phoned him. And he said, no. He says, it's like I told you on Thursday. He said, if you wish to stay, you can stay. You're welcome to stay now. And I said, no, Sid, let's just recap. Because on Sunday, your assistant manager said we have to leave the park. There's no two ways about that. And on Monday, your manager said we have to leave the park, and there was no two ways on that. And the manager also said she had called you, and you said we had to leave the park. He said, yeah, but when I talked to you on Thursday, I told you I had changed my mind. You can stay now. And I said, yeah, but Sid, on Monday, we had to go and make reservations over here and pay for them. So now, we paid in 2 places. So I want my money back. He says, no. He said, you're welcome to stay in the park. The guy keeps going in circles. Yeah. And he says, you're welcome to stay in the park. Well, I got a little inspired. And I said, okay, Sid, if you want to fight, we'll fight. And I said, this is our last conversation we're going to have. You can have your attorney contact mine, and we'll fight. And I said, I'm not only going to sue you for my money back. I'm going to sue you for discrimination and anything else we can think of along the way. And I said, this will take a number of years. Okay, this guy wants in his park right behind me. Okay. So he starts mumbling and going in circles again. And I got mad. And I said, look, this is my nickel on this damn phone. And I said, you tell me what the bottom line is and I'll give you an answer. Right now. Well, he thought a second or two and he says, how much did you pay over at the other park? I said, $308. He says, I'll give you half of it back. I says, deal. He says, I'll put the check in the mail. I said, no, you don't. No, you don't put the check in the mail. That's the oldest trick in the book. I said, no way. I said, no way. I said, you're in the park every Thursday, are you not? He says, yes, I come in first thing Thursday morning. He says, you bring it in your hand. And I said, leave it with Arlene and I'll pick it up Thursday morning. And then I says, I'll check out of your park, never to come back again. And then the stupid ass says to me, but we want you to enjoy Desert Shadows, and we want you to have enjoyed your stay, and we want you to come back. The guy's crazy. He's crazy.
How old is he?
Well, he's got to be at least 55 because they had their 50th anniversary and he was in this little rascal group and he was about this big. So I think he's about 58, 59. He doesn't look it. He doesn't look it. He looks like about 50. You know, he's just as flat as can be, thin. You know, looks real good. Hasn't got a wrinkle in his face. Obviously, lots of face jobs and everything else. And you know, and he's sort of a reddish hair, so you can't tell whether he's got gray hair or not. Though the guy looks, he could pass for 50 any day, but he must be nudging 60.
Surely one wondered why you went to that park in the first place. Why didn't you come to this park?
Well, we'd never stayed in this park. And we were in Carriage Place always before, you know, down on I-10.
Number 10.
Okay, and when we left last April, we paid for our 6 months in Carriage Place. And when we got home, we got a Dear John letter with our check back. So we didn't have anywhere to stay. And
Why did that happen?
Because they sold the park.
Oh.
And it went membership. So everybody got their Dear John letter back, and we had nowhere to stay. Now here, we knew that you could reserve, but you could not reserve long term. So you couldn't reserve for 6 months. You'd have to make your deal with an owner. And we didn't know any owners.
Okay.
So then it was Desert Shadows. Now Desert Shadows then wrote us all a letter. Now there was about 90 of us. Wrote us all letters and said, hey, we'll make you the same deal Carriage Place did. You're welcome back in the park, into their park, and we'll make you the same deal. Please send your money, you know, and pick out which lot you want, and we'll give you confirmation.
Maybe that helped to get them off the ground.
That's right. It gave them cash flow. You see, because that's what they were. And we had to pay half of our money up front last May to come in October. You see? So that gave them cash flow. So, okay, they got the cash flow, and now they're saying they got a sign on the wall. You can reserve now for next year. They gave us a sheet, and what they want you now, you can reserve for up to 3 months. But you have to pay $714.50 now, and the other $714.50 when you check into the park.
You pay $700 now?
Now, that's $1,000 in our money. Now, so you know,
really?
They can just blow it out their ear.
Yeah.
You know, no way. So we're going to come in here in January for a month, and then we're going to move along. We're just going to move all over the place.
Well, you should remember that Greenfield over in Mesa. If you get over Phoenix Way, that's
Debbie?
nice.
Yeah, you wouldn't remember. Maybe, I don't know. This is Shirley and Fred Piers, and they're from Saskatoon. But
how old were you when you left?
30-year-old range.
Oh, lots of them.
Yeah, okay.
What school did you go to?
Evan Hardy.
Oh. Well, our kids went to Newtown. What year did you graduate?
Well, you graduated here. Yeah.
Oh, you moved to BC.
Yeah, 7.
Newtown, I know it's Stanford.
Your office? Lots of snow in the mountains today. Down in the 40s last night. Ramon Road. ORA, Outdoor Resorts. cutting green. Pool is 84 degrees. Early in the morning. Friday the 14th of March. From New York and Minnesota. Well, Polly got her first things at Bullock's, didn't she?
Yes.
And then she got into May Company.
Right. Well, Bullock's, that time.
It was Bullock's,
I
eh?
have makeup on the mind, Joe.
Well, Bullock's have new things every day, don't they?
Right, yeah.
No, I should have had that on tape, Polly.
I was so busy trying to figure out why it was running this closer.
I love your blouse.
This is just, I think it's kind of,
Did you get that skirt here too?
no, I've had this.
Yeah, it goes really nicely with that.
I like this. You know, this is what I travel with. I have 2 or 3 of these. They don't show the dirt.
Well, and they're comfortable too.
Right, right.
So we'll have a good trip home.
Well,
It's the Pima.
See, I would definitely make, I would not necessarily put a bed in one of these. I would put, 2 of them, like we would have one room that could use, that these would be 2 twin beds.
nice wooden slat blinds. They have to be closed manually. There can be an optional square window.
Door opener, and I've got a man out here can install it for you for about, I think $45 to install it. We don't put them in, but you can buy them so cheap that it's like Home Depot and so on.
The patio roof in the back, can that,
Yeah,
that be extended?
that's what I was recommending, that you go across, get all the grass out behind you and somebody else mows it.
Yeah.
But if you want grass, you can have it. But
This tile is extra.
yeah, that's, but I would take, like I say, I would delete those upper windows, which are really hard to decorate.
Yeah.
And delete those and bring this patio cover all the way across through to that end, to this width, right here. Just take it right on across. And they do that for $8 a square foot, covered and finished, you know. And I think it's a real asset.
Yeah.
Especially where you are, you can look out the back then and you'll have some shade most of the afternoon. Those upper windows, they're difficult to get right. They're terrible. Edge to 6-inch rain on. So no, it's not flat. They used to build it flat, but they don't anymore. Yeah, they do. We have a slope. See, all of them are sloped. Yeah. Yeah, they'd be a pain to try to keep those clean too, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd just soon go in his truck and fifth wheeler. I think you better just go for a little ride.
Get over here.
Sure.
Up on the back.
Come on, Dottie.
Get up here.
Come on out. Getting ready for Missouri.
Put it straight so we can pull it back. Okay.
The man next door was talking about you going to Illinois. I guess he saw the license plate.
Oh.
How long can you license it under in Illinois?
Well, we live there.
Oh, I thought you lived in Missouri.
No,
Illinois.
Oh.
We say St. Louis, Missouri, because nobody knows where Collinsville,
We're
Illinois
only-
is, you know.
We're on,
But,
the Mississippi River goes right by St. Louis, and we're right across the river in Illinois.
Oh.
St. Louis is right on the edge of Missouri,
the river is the dividing line, and then it's Illinois.
Oh, so you go...
This bike's got a fuzz buster on it. Thank you, Bill. I used them and I'm returning them for in case somebody else needs them.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't know how you did that, but that's great.
Simple, like a little 2x4 and I drilled holes in it and I pounded those nails into the floor of my carpet and used that as a thing to work the jack on because you were talking my cupboard stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah, with that stretcher.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
But
that's substantial.
But that feels good to have that all done, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's nice and clean.
No,
Okay.
you need them, Bill.
Okay. Thank you.
It has a
Don't stand in the middle.
CB.
An air compressor to pump up the shock absorbers in the front, shock absorbers in the back. Got altimeter, a temperature, voltmeter. It's got an AM, FM radio and a tape deck in there, and a mileage indicator, and it's all computerized in the clock. Over here's the CB radio. I mean the CB fuzz buster.
Yeah.
Here's the CB. Here's the fuzz buster. 40-channel CB, and all the controls will work off up here, so you don't have to reach over here. And these two little things here are to run the deer and the dogs away from the motorcycle, because at 30 miles an hour they put out a high frequency sound.
Yeah.
And the deer and the there was a coyote the other day coming across the road, and he didn't run across. He was real nervous when I come around the curve, and there the coyote was, and he wouldn't cut, and then he ran off into the field, and he stopped and looked at me because he could hear that high frequency sound, and he didn't know what it was. It was really bothering him, and so it works.
Oh, you know? For goodness sake.
But
well, that's an added feature. You wouldn't want to run into a deer or something.
I hope not, because that would probably be the end. And of course, when the wife gets in, she has controls in the back for her helmet. We have an intercom system between the helmet and the microphone. Put this down, she just climbs up in her seat and then puts this back up.
It's almost like a seat belt.
Just put that in, you're just sandwiched in there.
An armrest.
What, you don't have a else on it. What's that knob there
This,
for?
in case you spill, falls down,
Yeah.
and that will keep from tearing up the lights and all the chrome and everything, you know, hopefully. And these are deflectors for if it's cold, you put them this way, and then you get the heat off the motor. Then if it's warm, you put them this way, and you get cool air blowing in on you.
Okay. Yeah.
That works real good. Those really work nice.
How many cylinders is it?
You know, Fred, I don't know. It's a 1200 cc, and I really don't know in the cylinders how many. I've never thought
Doesn't
of
have
it
8
in
cylinders.
that.
I don't know.
I don't know neither. I better read the book. The guy who that bought up never told me.
And this is a tool? Or,
Yeah. This is a saddlebag. They call them saddlebags for to put your suitcases in. You know, it has. Here's where we keep the towels and the stuff to clean the bike with, and also it has a suitcase for each compartment. There's 3 compartments, and this, of course, it has a satchel layer that goes in there. Then they lock down.
They have real nice bags.
What,
that fit on each
Yeah.
one, you know, and then they come around and like that.
And here's the mirror for her to comb her hair, you know. And then there's a big satchel that fits in here.
That's when she's riding in the trailer at the back? Oh, when you're up in the morning.
When we get up or when we get off and take our helmets off and your hair
Yeah.
is messed up.
That's when they come out of the tent in the morning.
Yeah.
Do you carry any camping equipment in the trailer?
Yes,
Are you going to camp, going home?
yes, well, a little bit. We
If
have
it's warm
tents.
enough.
We
If,
have
you know, if it's
sleeping bags, tents,
air
all air mattress, all the equipment in the trailer to camp with. And of course, this is our ice box here. It's a Coleman heater, Coleman.
cooler.
I bought it off of
Fred?
He added all that.
I'm
Fred.
sorry. See? Huh. Nigaloo.
Yeah. All the equipment that he
The only
could
thing
think
that we
of.
don't have is an air horn.
And I don't. I don't know if we'll ever need one.
Where's the truck? Like we're going through the border, we got a customs guy in Shirley. He's asking her questions, and then he Is that thing on?
I said, no, I don't think so.
That's what you said over at George's the other night when you were over there, you know, you were talking about this.
Yeah, you didn't bring that over to George's the other night. No.
Yeah, she was over there the other night.
She had it. She had it.
Shirley was over there.
She was just as busy.
George had one. Ben has had one difficulty. He took, one time he didn't turn the sound on, and then a lot of times he forgets to shut it off, and he's got pictures of girls' butts and everything else, you know, he's
Now, do you just have the camera, or do you have the VCR? You have to have VCR. Is the 2000?
This one was about 2,000, but they've gone way down.
And they're less in the States than we had to pay,
Ben said
too.
he paid, well, yours is a different name, but about $795 or something
Yeah.
for just the camera.
Well, ours was around 2,000 when we bought it, but
What I'd like is we can take it home and, I mean, we could send the pictures home when we're gone for a long time and let the girls see what we're doing,
Now,
you know.
there's a friend of ours the
Because
other
they've
day. They
got
just
one
took
also.
pictures of their trip.
Well, the thing to do when you
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was so neat. It was so good.
when you have children, it is really nice to have a camera like that where you can take the pictures and then send
When
them
they're
back home
little.
to the
And
kids,
vice versa.
and then they can do the same thing back there and send them to you.
Yeah, but Bob, the thing is, you take the picture and go show it right now.
Yeah.
None of this
Isn't that neat?
development.
You don't have,
If you don't like
No
it, you say, oh,
developing?
Most food prices fell, except for coffee, which rose by more than 6% because of the drought in Brazil. Wholesale prices often indicate where retail prices will be in a couple of months. Today's statistics suggest that the prices you pay are going down. And some say these figures show we are no longer fighting inflation. They show we have won the fight. Even the buyer incentive programs, though, did not give the buyers enough incentive. And the American automakers report their sales in the early part of March were down 4% from a year ago. The buyer incentive programs, as you know, offered low-interest auto loans in the hopes they would persuade the buyers to flock through the doors. But they didn't. 9 House Republicans left this morning for a one-day trip to Nicaragua. They say they have to see the country firsthand before they vote next week on President Reagan's request for an additional $100 million in aid to the so-called Consular rebels fighting the government. 2 congressional Democrats left for the same destination last night. One source at the Pentagon says that if Congress does vote the aid, which would include weapons and ammunition, some U.S. advisors would have to go to Central America to train the Contras. But that same source at the Pentagon says no U.S. troops will be stationed inside Nicaragua. TWA says it hopes to have service to all its regular cities tomorrow for the first time since flight attendants struck a week ago. The airline plans to be back to 75% of the usual number of flights to 86 cities. Uncle Sam wants $9.5 million from Eastern Airlines. A penalty, says the Federal Aviation Administration, for 78,000 maintenance and safety violations recorded during a 2.5-month period. Eastern, which was just socked with a huge fine because some of its employees smuggled cocaine from South America aboard its planes, says 60% of the government's charges are simply wrong. An unseemly disturbance in the sedate halls of the Library of Congress last night as police led and dragged away 14 book lovers who were protesting the new early closing hours brought on by the Gramm-Rudman deficit reduction bill. The authorities say it's the first time anyone was ever arrested for reading in the Library of Congress. Not many people have heard of a group calling itself the European National Socialist Union, but it's a neo-Nazi organization based apparently in Sweden. And in a letter to the Swedish news agency, it takes responsibility for the assassination of Swedish Prime Minister Olof Palme 2 weeks ago. Doesn't stop there either. Says its next target is Willy Brandt, the former Chancellor of West Germany, and now head of the Socialist International. The neo-Nazi group, the European National Socialist Union, apparently takes its name from Hitler's National Socialist Party, which, as you know, was of course called the Nazi Party. Someone stole a car from a woman in Rancho Cucamonga, California the other day. The police won't give out her name, but she was crying for 3 days. She was crying because there was $100,000 worth of jewelry in the trunk of the stolen car. Some of it was handed down from her grandfather, some of it she gathered over the years. The police opened the trunk, and the jewelry was still there. The woman has stopped crying, but if the thief is listening, well, I guess he knows he's not very good at his chosen work. Phase 2.
The first driver training school in the moving industry was guess whose? Mayflower. That's right. Mayflower trains drivers are the best on the road. Mayflower will spend as much money and as much time as it takes to accomplish that. In fact, the driver of the year most every year is a Mayflower driver. And Mayflower employees remain Mayflower employees. Scores of Mayflower agents are third and fourth generation Mayflower people. Moving for you. Across town, across the state, or across the United States. Furniture, family. Mayflower has learned to do everything that's humanly possible to protect your things as you would, to convenience you with on-time pickup and delivery, to let you know costs in advance, to avoid future shock. No wonder Americans ever since Plymouth Rock, our nation's #1 name in moving, has been Mayflower. Next time you see one of those big rigs on the road with Mayflower emblazoned across the side, wave.
James Cagney, 83 years old, the actor, in a New York hospital this morning. Hospital officials have not told us what is wrong with Jimmy Cagney, but one source tells us he has an infected toe. The Presidential Commission investigating the explosion of the Challenger space shuttle is zeroing in on the Wright booster rocket now as a main cause of the tragedy. Investigators are looking ever more closely at that seal between parts of the booster, the seal that may have failed. They may have more evidence to look at very soon now. Divers yesterday are said to have recovered all 4 of Challenger's flight recorders and several of its computers from the floor of the ocean. Yesterday, we all saw 2 Soviet cosmonauts lift off in a rare, live Russian TV broadcast. Today, Leonid Kitsim and Vladimir Solovyov orbit high above us, getting ready to dock at a Soviet space platform that's been up there for almost a month. We don't know how long Kitsim and Solovyov intend to stay in space, but they were in orbit for a record 237 days during an earlier mission. The Philippine President, Corazon Aquino, opened the doors of the presidential palace in Manila and let in hundreds of people who live in the slums of that city. The poor were shown the clothes, the shoes, the lifestyle of the ousted Marcos family. And Mrs. Aquino hopes in this way to explain the meaning of the revolt that changed the government, and in the future she hopes the face of the Philippines. In Honolulu, a federal judge protects the papers and possessions that Ferdinand Marcos brought with him to Hawaii. The judge says the U.S. Customs Service may not show the possessions to anyone till he, the judge, decides if they are to be given over to Marcos and his entourage. At the moment, most of what he brought with him, including what is said to be well over $1 million worth of Philippine pesos, all this is now in the custody of the Customs Service, and some congressmen have tried to get a look at it. This court order in Honolulu stops them. Gerald Reagan wants to be a firefighter. By all reports, he'd make a pretty good one. He got a perfect score on his civil service test, and he passed all the required strength and agility tests. But the fire department in Westfield, Massachusetts, did not give Reagan a job because he weighed 365 pounds, and that's more than state guidelines allow. Reagan went on a diet. He lost 85 pounds in the last 15 months, and Westfield says he can now try again. What happens if the state still will not let him be a firefighter? Gerald Reagan says he'll wait and he'll diet some more. More severe weather in the south. The winds were so high in Charleston, South Carolina, that a Confederate flag atop the state capitol was reduced to shreds. Incidentally, the Roman Catholic Diocese of Cleveland, Ohio, believes it has a public relations problem.
Are you ready to go? What's Laskin's name? Laskin? Loretta, wasn't it? Loretta.
Put that hot stuff in the fridge.
No. Where's that jug I was looking for? Oh, is that where? Buy one. While I got some food in my stomach.
Got a roll of film we gotta get tonight.
Oh, goody, goody. You picked up the Smitty's now.
Pardon?
You picked up the Smitty's?
No, we've got a place that we...
Or did we? No, I don't think we ever did find a good spot in Phoenix.
Well, there was one down, there was an alley, and we could find some down in that last shopping mall down farther that way on the right.
Well, let's go to Kodak.
4 days. You want to sit like that on an angle? So what was their last name again? Polly and Everett?
Oh,
Huh?
it's a tough one.
Hello.
Howdy.
To have really good neighbors, Polly and Everett Zolt. P-Z-O-L-D-T.
Moving pictures.
Business since I was about 7 or 8 years old, and I met her down
Surely
there.
those
I had my
people.
picture taken with her.
Um,
And I didn't get to her. You know, everybody goes to have their pictures taken. You know, all the men go to with the.
I didn't go to the show.
Oh, you didn't go?
I didn't go. I let Shirley go and take the pictures so I could
Yeah.
look at the pictures.
Well, anyway, we went around to the back, and here's.
You know exactly what he's going to say before he says it. You know, those guys are doing, looking at the girls doing like this, you know. Everything
Who's
he
this,
says is
Irene?
going- No!
No, Bill does that, or who does?
Bill.
What was that?
Do it, Bill.
Now Bill will be self-conscious.
Now I can't do it.
Do the Hawaiian. Do the
Like
Hawaiian.
the dancing teacher asked me to do a little step today, and I couldn't do it after she'd showed me 5 times. So I was up the creek all day.
Oh, that was terrible.
I'll tell you what.
Well, I'm not that good.
Well, I can't sing neither. But, you know, I'd like to see you dance.
Well, they were teaching us today a new dance called 42nd Street. And, you know, we've practically got it, but...
Maybe you could do a little demonstration. Could we sing for you?
I can't remember anything.
When is the final performance?
I don't know. I don't know whether we're going to have a final performance this year because we'll
Well,
have to.
this is for next
we'll have to
year.
learn next year. Yeah. We'll have to.
Pick
Well,
up
it's
next year.
we learned a cane dance last year, and they never performed it until this year.
We got all kinds of...
Start out on 43rd Street next year.
So then they gave us a bowler dance with a bowler hat.
You got that filled up again, George.
He's
He's got that filled up again.
Yeah, I noticed that. You went across the street to do it, I noticed.
No, I got them over there just handy.
Those little bottles are...
How about you, Bill? Would you like a little touch?
No, I'll go home. I'll go home and get one.
Well, I got 2 of them. Let's see what I got in this pocket.
Yeah, see what you got now.
What's in that
That's
pocket?
tobacco.
Scotch too, huh?
And there's no problem, because George says he's going to string a rope out for him to get home.
Those are cute little bottles.
I never did drink. No, I'm not a Scotch
well,
drinker.
No, I think you can get them in Canada. Can you get those bottles in Canada?
Oh, you can get them right down
Yeah,
here.
right.
Walgreens.
At Walgreens.
Walgreens,
Yeah.
you can.
Are they more than a
Oh,
dollar
yeah.
bottle now?
They're nice to carry in
Can't buy
here.
it.
Yeah, I think they're about $1 down and half a bottle, I think.
Oh, come on, Jesse.
Bill, what are you what are you pulling down there?
Hi, Louise.
Everything. Things that are getting cut off.
It's too bad. It's too bad she didn't have the camera on you at that time.
Oh, did I miss something?
Yeah. Bill got up and he was pulling everything down. I don't know.
Oh, really?
You lost your gold?
I thought maybe you were just warmed up.
You got it coiled up and put away.
Coiled up? Thank you, George, for the compliment. If one coil is too much.
When in doubt, swap it out.
Yeah.
We've only got the stuff we want. The stuff he wants. I don't want to waste my time. I'm too busy, George.
No, I know, I understand that perfectly. I'm just saying, it's busy.
Nice to meet you. Well, he'll have a visit
When
someday. When you
get
have
over
time.
there, I'll have more time.
Well, that's it. Yes. Yeah, I understand. Yes. Yeah. Oh, well, there'll come a day, I suppose, and we'll be able to sit back and...
And I'll be able to do that,
Yeah.
Andy.
Come on, Bill and Dot, you're staying back in the shade.
Yes, it does. Really good.
Yeah? Well, it's been a very nice party, and I thank you, Shirley, for the idea and all the rest of it, and,
Well, we thank you for having it all the time.
Yeah, right.
You always
Going for a bicycle ride?
Let's go for a bicycle.
No, I think I'm going to head to the bed. Good lady.
I know, right, this is...
I know. Who else is going to love you? You don't love yourself.
We'll be here till May.
The trouble is, with that goddamn thing,
You know,
Oh, we did that.
Hi, Bob.
No problem, no problem.
Good night, Bill.
Fred, see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow, I'll get you all that dope in Hawaii.
Well, love it, love it, love
Good
it.
night, Bill.
Good night, Cousin. Thank you very much.
Hi, Jesse.
Very nice.
Just here on television.
Thank you for oh, my God. Oh, kiss your husband, too, then.
Might as well.
Yeah, oh, no. You're on television. I'll show it to you tomorrow.
My glasses are steaming up.
Oh.
Oh, and there's Grandma, Louise in the bath, and Shirley.
Grandma, you're on television.
Yeah. Nice to have officially met both of you.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah, it is. We didn't meet you until the day we were leaving for Hawaii.
Not really, you know, and not at all.
So we'll get together. I want to sit and have a chat with your mother someday when we've got lots of time.
Well,
I told her I'd bring some pictures.
Oh, did
If she's got time.
Shirley, and it's got to be tomorrow because after that we'll be in. Yeah, and we're going down tomorrow morning early and get our hair done. I want to get a perm. My hair is just all of a sudden, you know how it gets to that point.
I got one so curly, I don't know what to do.
I'm looking over. Well, mine was, and it's just shot at you odd.
I said to Shirley, I said, you've got to come on this trip. And she said, no, I don't want to go. And I asked my friend to go with me, and he said, no, he said, I'm not going. So finally I looked at Shirley and I said, well, you're coming. And
Wouldn't be any fun without her, would it?
no, and she went, and honestly, she was the only girl on this trip.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, there were 17 natives and 6 men on safari, and I was the only girl.
Oh my God.
And the day that I went out,
treated you like a little... They did, and they welcomed me the first night and said they always liked even having one lady because the men tidied up for dinner and it kept their language clean.
Oh, nice.
no,
Well, they should. You are a nice lady.
I'll take it.
So, we will see you all. Bye now.
Bye, we'll see you, bye.
Nice seeing you.
Well, I better say hello to those people across there. They look like a nice couple.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going on Thursday. They're only staying about 3 days, too.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, good night,
Good night, Bill.
You got
We're off and running.
your hands full. Good night. Goodbye.
Yeah. Oh, you're leaving tomorrow? Oh, yeah. Oh, well, that's all right. I'll see you tomorrow. So I must hurry.
We'll see you again before you go.
Don't stop here. You got your hands full.
Don't drop this.
No.
That would be a
Is this
disaster.
yours, Bill? Yeah. Should have got this.
Should have got it yourself.
I haven't taken anything yet.
Oh. So now tell us the ending to this dark Ruth story.
Well, Art.
Oh gosh, not very far. And then cut in. And you get to right where our property is. All right? You hit it, bang on. You go down that road.
It's terrible to come visiting and have to bring your own chair, Lois.
Oh, well,
Life is
you
like
know,
that.
you get,
Trailer parks. When you're roughing it.
if you carried chairs, then you'd have to carry dishes and glasses and silverware.
I guess we could.
You were so quiet, I didn't realize you were getting away.
Y'all drive carefully. Don't talk to me. I will have fun.
I envy you, Dottie.
What?
I envy you. Have fun.
I wish we could take everybody along that wants to go. Right. Have a wonderful time, guys. Thank you. Your back holds out.
Bye, Bill. Isn't that something? Isn't that something?
More bikes.
There aren't any as fancy as Bill's.
They're coming more bikes.
Well, you're struggling pretty good up this hill.
Well, I could go better, but there's one. It's a good looking one.
Yeah. There's only one person on each bike, isn't there?
Yeah. There's the last bike.
40 of them. They look like basically bigger bikes than the last batch.
No, I think that's the same thing.
You think they are?
Yeah.
Got a lot of desert to go over, don't
More coming.
I thought the others were smaller bikes.
No.
Some of them are pretty old guys.
Yeah.
You even saw the camera, and he waved. Maybe they do see the camera. Maybe they want a little diversification. They're all Arizona license plates, I think.
Gold ring. That's the kind of a bike that the girl's husband used to work for me wanted.
Suppose we've reached the top?
No, we're still going up.
We're at 6,000 feet now.
That's right. What was Phoenix?
1,092.
So we've gone up 5,000 feet.
Right. It is like being in an airplane, isn't it? Well, it's more lush country, too. Deer for 25 miles, so this probably lasts all the way to Flagstaff. Oh, there's the mountain with the snow.
We're 6,500 feet.
And it looks like we're about the same height as that mountain up there. We'll see when we get there, won't we? They're going in a roundabout way to get home to Washington, aren't they? Going around this side of Grand Canyon?
We're up 7,000 feet in Arizona. It's the 9th day of April, 1986, at 1 o'clock.
We had a nice spot for lunch.
Got a truck stop.
Gas was 85.9 in Phoenix. There'll be some more of those pretty high. Page, Arizona, about to cross the border to Utah. River Dam?
Glen Canyon Dam.
Oh, is that the name of it?
Yeah. That's the Glen Canyon Dam. And the Waheap Marina is 5 miles up to the right.
You sure tell it's springtime, can't you?
Yeah.
As the leaves. You got me the sign on, yeah. Utah. Not bothered with too much traffic this early in the morning. What time did we get away? 7:30?
Yep.
Kind of looks like the Badlands of South Dakota, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Red rock on one side of the road and white on the other. Sure does beat the four-laner highway. For scenery, and the roads are good. No traffic.
No.
I think somebody'd carved that out by hand. Lots of coniferous trees again, too.
At 5,000 feet, we were going down. Boy, is that guy ever throwing the airstream rig, throwing lots of stuff.
Exhaust?
Yeah.
Downgrade for 4 miles. I don't think we'd want to do this trip in the winter months.
October.
No. We'd want to do it in March if there was any danger of snow, maybe. nicer weather than this at 55 degrees. On the 10th of April?
Pretty nice. Nice for travel.
Beautiful. We're going to meet ourselves coming back. Certainly is ever-changing scenery, isn't it? Open prairie again.
You like a peppermint?
Okay. Well, I guess we missed seeing Bryce Canyon this trip. And we've just passed through the little town of Pankwitch. You're glad you have the trailer instead of having lunch there, are you?
Yes. Very happy to have the trailer.
I wonder if we're going to go over that mountain. Where'd our snow-covered mountain go?
Oh, that was a mirage.
Ah, it's just around the corner. There's the snow. There's more snow. Do you call that a mirage? Green hills, pink hills.
Do you see that eagle up there resting on the rock at the top of the hill?
Yeah, he looks like he's on lookout.
He's getting ready to fly away.
Wonder if he's going south or north. North. Goodbye.
Goodbye. See ya.
Mm-hmm. I can hear a rooster crowing. Peaceful country place by Marysville.
Mountain. We've been by here.
Now, did it say that?
Yeah, right there it says Big
Yep.
Rock Candy Mountain.
Okay, we have been by here.
But we were going the other way.
We stopped with the kids.
Yeah, must have. Big Rock Candy Resort right here, half off.
Is there a campground here? Streams are sure muddy. I guess it's because of spring runoff.
Interesting
looking rock formation that looks like a castle.